Mr. President, dear colleagues, thank you very much for this great honor. 130 years ago, the Interparliamentary Union was founded. It was dedicated to promote democracy, to defend human rights. How? Through parliamentary diplomacy. That means through dialogue, cooperation, to regional understanding. The great difference between the Interparliamentary Union and other international organizations is precisely the plurality that is reflected into parliaments. 130 years ago, maybe they were not imagining this kind of plurality. For example, women were not allowed to participate in parliaments. Many things have been changing since that moment. And IPU has seen very important moments for humanity since the moment it was founded. It was impossible to imagine 130 years ago that the world was going to face 2 world wars. It was also impossible to imagine that humanity was going to be exploring the space. 130 years ago, the voice of women and youth was not represented into the public sphere. Now we have more than 50 women speakers around the planet. 130 years ago, the world was not divided by capitalism or communism. Now we are trying to understand globalization and new strategies for communication and new ways to produce goods and services, and we're trying to figure out how the world is changing at this speed. I am very honored to be in Cyprus and to have the opportunity to address this important parliament. First, because this is an opportunity to be with a very active member parliament of the Interparliamentary Union. You are participating in almost all committees and groups in our organizations. And second, because Cyprus is opening the possibility to rethink politics and institutions. And that's a very powerful message. The House of Representatives is now having very innovative proposals. First, the parallel parliament. We are always speaking about SDGs and how inclusiveness is so important. But when it comes to politics, most of the doors are still closed to citizens. But this idea, this concept of a parallel parliament goes precisely into a different direction. It goes for openness, for transparency, for inclusiveness. And those are the values that we want to promote in IPU. Also, having this House of Citizens, I'm sure is going to give a very important message to all the parliaments represented in IPU. Because we need to understand that the world, this 21st century planet, cannot be taking more decisions with institutions that were designed 3 centuries ago. Things are changing, and are changing very fast. We are experiencing new communications, social media, a new relation and concept between the citizens and the political powers. So now is the moment to rethink politics and institutions, just as you're doing in this House of Representatives. This commitment with the Cypriot citizens has to inspire other latitudes in our planet, and we would like very much to have more about your initiatives heard in the Interparliamentary Union. We also need to use this opportunity of our anniversary at the Interparliamentary Union to analyze, to be fully aware of what is going on in the planet. Yes, in terms of institutional design and governance challenges, but also in terms of new technologies, That means new demands, new expectations, new challenges. If we try to understand these new generations, well, now with a smartphone, with a credit card, you don't have to go for a movie. You don't have to go to a shop. You can start having things immediately at your door. We didn't grow up like that. We had to do a lot of things. We had to interact more with people than with the telephone. And now things are changing. It is also changing in the way that we produce, and we have industries. And that's going to give us a very important challenge in terms of jobs and salaries. We need also to understand that we are responsible of many of the solutions. We do have a very important agenda in terms of inclusiveness, which are the Sustainable Development Goals. We have also the Paris Agreement in terms of fighting climate change, but apparently not all the world is going into the same direction. We need also to understand that this world, this planet, needs new rules and new ways to give full enforceability to those rules. I mean, this is the time that we need to understand from the mistakes that humanity had all the past century, and understand that international law and international obligations are the only way to have a peaceful and sustainable planet. We need to understand that democracy is the only way to ensure representativeness of the people, that we are having their trust. We need to understand that the very nature of politics is to have the persons at the center of our decisions, and to understand our responsibility in defending, respecting, and promoting human rights and liberties. Dear colleagues, I really expect, and I will do my best, to make this 130th anniversary of the Interparliamentary Union an opportunity to renew our commitment. A commitment with our constituencies, with our communities, with our countries, but of course, a commitment with our planet. We need to understand that as members of Parliament, we need to have the highest values of humanity. It's also an opportunity to renew our faith. Faith that this planet can be better. That sometimes the frustration that we are feeling because we are not capable of delivering short-term results, we can do it. We can achieve those results if we work together and understand cooperation as one of the most important tools to give this planet another chance. We need also to renew our passion to deliver the best outcomes, to fight climate change, passion for a more equal and inclusive world, and of course, to renew our love to each other. It's very sad and shameful to see that all the hate narrative that made one of the most important tragedies for humanity during the 20th century is becoming again powerful in many countries. As representatives of the people, as the most important voices in our communities, we need to renew our commitment with love. Dear colleagues, we can change the world. I am absolutely sure about that. But I am aware that that change depends on us. If we close our eyes and try to imagine 46,000 parliamentarians all around the globe in 170 countries, if we can have these 46,000 parliamentarians with the same commitments, with the same passion, with the same roadmap to implement SDGs, to fight climate change, to give full respect to democracy human rights, and freedom. If we do our best to translate this possible world, this possible change in concrete realities, that's the way to celebrate the 130th anniversary of IPU and also to renew our commitment with the people that trust on us. Thank you very much for the opportunity to change the world, and most important, to do it together. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ευχαριστώ την Πρόεδρο